Welcome to the third video in our risk management series. In this video, we'll be discussing operational risks, a critical aspect of managing global business operations. These risks can arise from disruptions in internal processes, systems, or infrastructure that a company relies on. We'll break down what operational risks are, share some real-world examples, and explore how these risks manifest in different regions, including the US, China, and Latin America. By the end, you'll understand the strategies businesses use to mitigate these risks and ensure their operations stay resilient. What are operational risks? Operational risks are disruptions that occur within the internal processes of a company. This could include supply chain interruptions, manufacturing delays, logistical bottlenecks, or even workforce issues. When operating internationally, these risks can become more complicated due to the distance, complexity, and unique conditions of different regions. These risks are often unpredictable, but they can be managed through careful planning and strategic risk management. Let's look at some examples that highlight the impact of operational risks on businesses. 1. The COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic exposed operational vulnerabilities across global enterprises. Lockdowns, factory shutdowns, and transport delays disrupted supply chains worldwide. A specific example is the global semiconductor shortage, which affected industries like automotive manufacturing. In 2020 and 2021, many automakers had to halt production due to a lack of chips. However, Toyota was better prepared, thanks to lessons learned from the 2011 Japan earthquake. After that disaster, Toyota overhauled its supply chain risk management, mapping suppliers and creating an early warning system to spot potential disruptions. During the chip shortage, Toyota was able to secure supply and avoid significant production delays, whereas other companies struggled. The Suez Canal blockage, 2021. A massive container ship blocked the Suez Canal for several days, halting a major trade route. This disruption is a reminder of how a single event can have global repercussions, affecting supply chains and causing delays for countless companies. Cybersecurity threats. Operational risks also include cyber attacks, which are increasingly common. In 2017, NotPetya malware took down Maersk's global shipping operations for weeks, causing massive losses. This example underscores the importance of cybersecurity as part of a broader operational risk management strategy. Regional nuances. Operational risks vary depending on the region, and businesses must be aware of these regional factors. United States. The US generally has advanced infrastructure, but operational risks still exist. For example, managing logistics across 50 states can be complex, especially when aiming to offer nationwide delivery. Weather-related disruptions, such as Gulf Coast hurricanes or north winter storms, can cause significant supply chain delays. Labor issues like trucker shortages or strikes, for example, port worker strikes on the West Coast, can also create disruptions. High compliance standards and regulatory requirements in industries like manufacturing require strict operational controls. China has world-class manufacturing infrastructure, but operational risks are tied to the country's concentration of production. The COVID-19 lockdowns in China, such as the 2022 Shanghai lockdown, highlighted how a local disruption can affect global supply chains. Additionally, companies operating in China face challenges with sudden government regulations, such as environmental shutdowns or surprise inspections. Moreover, intellectual property issues are an operational concern in China, and companies must take steps to protect their designs and sensitive data. Latin America. In Latin America, operational risks are often related to underdeveloped infrastructure, natural disasters, and security concerns. For example, countries like Chile and Peru are prone to earthquakes, while Mexico and the Caribbean face hurricanes and floods. Logistics can be complicated in landlocked countries like Bolivia or Paraguay, where companies rely on neighboring ports for trade. Additionally, high crime rates in some areas increase the risk of theft or damage to goods during transport. Labor strikes and social unrest are also factors, and companies often need to engage in strong labor relations and community outreach to mitigate these risks. Mitigation strategies. Operational risks can often be mitigated through proactive planning and strategies. 1. Supply chain diversification. Avoid relying on a single source for critical components. Companies should have multiple suppliers, preferably in different regions, to reduce the risk of disruption. Many businesses also shift to nearshoring, moving production closer to their end markets to mitigate transportation risks. For example, many US companies are moving production to Mexico to reduce reliance on Asia and better control their supply chains. 2. Technology and visibility. Implementing supply chain visibility tools, such as IoT sensors, AI-based risk alerts, and tracking software, helps businesses identify potential disruptions early. These tools allow companies to respond proactively when issues arise, such as shipments delayed due to a port strike. 3. Local capacity building. Investing in backup infrastructure like generators or water treatment systems can be crucial for operations in emerging markets. Training local teams to manage crises and establishing clear disaster response protocols ensures that operations continue smoothly, even in adverse conditions. 4. Adaptive production and design. Flexibility in product design can also help mitigate risks. For instance, Toyota's strategy of designing modular components that can be substituted with alternatives during disruptions is an excellent example of operational hedging. Maintaining redundant capacity in multiple locations can ensure production continues if one site faces an issue. 5. Robust quality control processes. Implementing strong quality control and oversight across global operations helps maintain consistency and avoid errors. Regular audits of suppliers and communication with them are essential to prevent operational failures, as seen in Boeing's experience with its 787 Dreamliner production. In conclusion, operational risks are a critical factor in international business, but they can be managed effectively with the right strategies. By diversifying supply chains, using technology for visibility, investing in local infrastructure, and adapting production systems, businesses can reduce the impact of operational disruptions and maintain resilience in a volatile global market. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on risk management, finance, global economics, and international trade. Thank you for watching.